Welcome to this Commander deck tech featuring Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig, a giant among elves. This is a medium power elf tribal deck that creates a truly massive giant stomping across the battlefield, leading an army of buffed up elves to victory. Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig, is a big 3-mana 4/4. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. If that creature has greater power than Yorvo, then put another +1/+1 counter on him. Yorvo is a very straightforward commander, growing to be an enormous beatstick, unfortunately with no built-in evasion or even trample. However, this mono-green deck can take advantage of a huge creature in other ways, even if the giant will be eternally chump-blocked. With a huge Yorvo on the battlefield, the deck can instantly fill my hand with cards like Garruk Primal Hunter, Rishkar's Expertise, Greater Good, and Return of the Wild Speaker. My personal favorite card draw spell to use alongside Yorvo is Grothama All-Devouring. Yorvo is one of the few cheap creatures in the game that can defeat the raid boss by himself and draw a full hand of cards from his victory. Yorvo also helps cheat the cost of the incredibly powerful Great Henge, an insurmountable value engine that does a little bit of everything. The only thing that Yorvo asks for during deck building is a lot of cheap green creatures. Elf Tribal is the easiest way to do this, swarming the battlefield and generating a lot of mana to cast even more elves. The deck is filled with small mana dorks like Arbor Elf and Llanowar Elves, as well as larger druids like Priest of Titania, Heritage Druid, and Jiraga Tree Speaker. I run enough mana elves that I never have to worry about being short on mana, and can freely dump my hand onto the battlefield. There are several elves that make tokens. These are some of the best cards in the deck, as even a simple 1/1 squirrel will boost Yorvo with a counter. Deep Forest, Deranged, and Thelonite Hermits all create 5 bodies for a mere 5 mana. Wren's Run Packmaster can churn extra mana into Death Touch Wolves at an efficient rate. Lissalana Huntmaster and Wirewood Hivemaster give an extra green creature for every elf, simultaneously building up an army and pumping my commander. This horde of tree huggers can be weaponized with a variety of lords. Azuri Renegade Leader and Jiraga Warcaller churn my excess mana into huge power boosts for the elven army, while Elvish Archdruid and Imperious Perfect have other useful abilities, in addition to the standard +1/+1 Lord effect. I mentioned earlier the card draw spells that benefit from Yorvo's power, but I've also included some cards that draw from going wide. The Pokedex Lifecrafter's Bestiary, Beast Whisperer, and Guardian Project provide constant card draw from every new creature spell, while Regal Force, Shamanic Revelation, and Slate of Ancestry fill up my hand immediately on a big enough board. Between the tall card draw synergizing with Yorvo, and the wide card draw synergizing with Elves, the deck always has plenty of cards in hand. Yorvo isn't actually a 4/4, but a 0/0 that enters with 4 counters. I've added a few cards that take advantage of this. Bramblewood Paragon grants much needed trample to the giant, and buffs up the various other warriors in the deck. The most exciting cards to use alongside Yorvo are these new mutate cards from Ikoria, Gemrazor and Sawtusk Demolisher. By mutating them on top of Yorvo, he will gain their decent stats and trample while retaining all of his +1 counters. He still counts as the commander for commander damage too. Both also remove troublesome permanents at a cheap cost, so they are worth an include in any Yorvo deck. No green deck would be complete without a few enormous expensive critters to finish the game off. I don't own a Craterhoof behemoth, so I've added the 2 next best versions. They both grant much smaller power boosts than Craterhoof itself, but Enray's Forerunners grants Vigilance, and Decimator of the Provinces can be very cheap when emerged from another creature. Terastodon doesn't technically finish the game, but it's a tough uphill battle for my opponents after losing 3 lands, or 3 of their most important permanents. The rest of the deck is cheap removal, some land ramp, and a few utility creatures. The full deck list is available in the description as usual. Thanks for watching this Yorvo deck tech. Enjoy tree hugging and stomping.